Hi everyone, in this lesson I'm going to teach you how to speak like a native speaker. When native speakers are speaking, everything flows, so it sounds like it's really fast and it's hard to understand. But in this lesson I'm going to show you how native speakers connect their words, and for that reason when they speak it sounds really fast. So based on this lesson you'll be able to speak faster like a native speaker, but also understand native speakers better when they're just speaking in a relaxed way. Let me explain the columns I've got here. Here we have the question phrases, and here this is written in sentences that you can understand, normal English sentences. This is what we write, but this column is what we say. This is the difference between the sounds that we make in the sentences and what we write. And this column here is the best we can get to and the closest we can get to describing the sounds, still using the English alphabet. But we can only get so close to it because the English alphabet doesn't have letters for every sound in English when we're speaking. So that's why we have this column, which is IPA transcription. Now this might be completely new to you and you won't understand the symbols here. It can be hard to learn at first, but I'm going to point out the most important things you need to know here. And as you learn this slowly, this is a way for you to understand the exact pronunciation of words, but also when words are together in a sentence. Let's have a look at the first example. The question phrase is, when's he coming? When's he coming? Now, if I'm saying that slowly, perhaps as a beginner, I would say, when is he coming? When's he coming is when I speed it up. So look here at sounds like, when's he coming? When's he coming? What's changed about the question? Well, the first thing to notice is that the G is gone. Coming, coming. That happens a lot in words that end in ing, like going, coming. We don't say the G when we're speaking in a really relaxed, informal way at all times, in all situations. So coming becomes coming, and there's another change. When's he, when is he, changes to when's he, when's he, when's he coming. Why does this change? Where has the letter H gone? Well, it becomes silent. When's he coming? And the S changes to a Z sound. When's he coming? Next example. When did you meet? Beginner. When did you meet? But that doesn't sound very natural. So instead we say, when'd you meet? When'd you meet? What's changed here is where's the D for did gone? When'd you meet? This happens because the sounds blend into one another. If we go back here as well, when did you meet? 4 sounds, 4 syllables. But here, when'd you meet? Only 3 syllables. When'd you meet? E, E. This is the long I sound, E, in meet. When'd you meet? There's another way we can say this. When did you meet? When did you meet? Let's compare. Listen closely because there's a small difference. When'd you meet? When did you meet? When did you meet? Just depends on the speaker and whether they're feeling very relaxed, how informal the situation is, what pronunciation they would use. When did you meet? When did you meet? This is the schwa. When did you meet? Next example. When do you go home? When do you go home? I'm speaking slowly like a robot, so let's speed it up. When do you go home? When do you go home? What time? When do you go home? When do you go home? Diphthong. Oh, home. Oh, home. When do you go home? I can say that one in a different way. When do you go home? When do you go home? Let's look at the IPA. Oh, there's a mistake here. I've written when ya go home. That's an easy mistake to make. So let's change this. When do you go home? Why did I make that mistake there? Because when I've written it how to say it, I'm using the letter J. Wenja, so I can read that, that's easy. But in IPA, the J is a different sound. It's Y, not J, it's Y. So it's an easy mistake to make and a common mistake to make, something you have to learn. When do you go home? Next example. What's going on? What's going on? When I'm saying it in a relaxed way, like a native speaker, what's going on? What's going on? Do you see how this one changes? What's go? But the second part of going jumps and becomes a W. What's going on? What's going on? The reason this happens is because the sounds blend together and going joins with the last word in the question, on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, oh. And another oh in on. What's going on? Another example here. What's his name? Too slow. I say, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Again, the H disappears. There's no H in the word his in the way I'm saying it naturally. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? And I've joined what's with his because I say it so quickly. I put them as if they're one word. What's his name? What's his name? Similar example. Oh, where's what's? Oh, here it is. There it is. What's her name? This is for her. This is his. This is her. What's her name? What's her name? Her name's Mary. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Sir. Another example. What do you think? Too slow. A native speaker says, what do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think? What do you think? S, s. Very hard sound for me to make. S. In a London accent, we say it an easier way, which is just to say an F. What do you think? What do you think? But in standard English, what do you think? What do you think? Let's look at this one now. What do you do? Hello. What do you do? Too slow like a robot. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I'm a teacher. What do you do? So how do we go from what do you with a D? How do we go to Where does the ch come from? Watcher, watcher. Where does that come from? We change the sound because this way it rolls off the tongue a lot more easy. It's a lot more flowing and a lot more natural. We completely change the sound there. What you do? Well, that didn't sound right. What you do? What you do? What you do? What you do? Ch, 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 ch. This T and that shape are together, and that's one phoneme, and that represents the ch, ch, ch sound. Looking at the last example now, what do you want to do? How many sounds in that one? What do you want to do? 6 sounds, 6 syllables. I'm a native speaker. I don't say it that way. I say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to go put a bet on in the betting shop? What do you want to do? Yeah. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? The first part is the same as the previous example. Watcha, watcha. But now we've got wanna. Wanna, oh, wanna, do. What do you want to do? Okay, so this is how you speed up your English to talk like a native speaker. What I'd like to tell you about now is my accent course, where I will teach you to talk like a native speaker, to understand pronunciation, and to speak in clear English. If you'd like to find out more about my course, click here and you'll find out all about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!